Hello, dear viewers. I am a global nationalist. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today, I am going to be talking about Section 295A of the the Penal Code and the constitutionality of it and the case laws regarding it, and about freedom of speech in India with respect to religion. Let's begin. Well, I'm sure you can guess why I'm talking about this. It's about the Nupur Sharma episode that's happened in India, where Nupur Sharma, who was the BJP spokesperson, one of their spokespersons, made a comment about Prophet Muhammad that was from one of the hadiths. It referenced his child bride, and some Muslims have found that offensive and blasphemous, and so they have demanded her to be arrested and punished. And now most of them are protesting peacefully and asking her to be punished according to the law, but a few of them uh, are arguing for extrajudicial punishment, such as killing her. They're threatening her with death and rape, but that's not the majority of Muslims. Now, I want to talk about the larger issue of religion and freedom of speech in India because uh, India has a conflict between these two. Because on one hand, uh, we have the right to speak and express ourselves, but on the other hand, we have a law called Section 295A of the Indian Penal Code, which penalizes people who insult religion. And I want to talk about the interplay between these two laws. This is Section 295A of the Indian Penal Code. This is the headline of the heading of the section. Deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings of any class by insulting its religion or religious beliefs. This is the title of the section. This is the main body. Whoever with deliberate and malicious intention of outraging the religious feelings of any class of citizens of India by words either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representations or otherwise, insults or attempts to insult the religion or religious beliefs of that class, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to or 4 or 3 years, or with fine or with both. So let me analyze this section. Uh, for it deals with deliberate and malicious acts. Now, deliberate means that a person has an intention to commit this act. They are knowingly doing it. It's not accidental. It's not unintentional. It is intentional, and it is a malicious act. And malicious means with intended. It has basically a negative intention. The person wants to hurt someone. Now, in this case, the hurt they want to impose is the hurting the religious feelings of any class of people. This is an intended uh, outcome of their words or acts. Now, it's important to see that they're only talking about religious feelings or religious beliefs. They're not saying that these acts are going to harm the religious group physically or financially or anything that would deliberately directly harm them. Only the re- emotions of this group will be harmed by such acts. Now, they say that whoever with deliberate and malicious intention insults the religious feelings of any class of citizens of India. This section, part of the section, is important because it says that this only applies to insults given to citizens of India. So if somebody in India, a citizen of India, insults the religious beliefs of people who are not citizens of India, then those people cannot claim any penal relief against that person under this section. Now, by words either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representation. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be only words, it can be through signs or visible representations. This can visible representations can be artwork like paintings or cinema, or written means including literature. So insults or attempts to insult the religion or the religious beliefs of that class. So it doesn't have to just even be an insult. It can just be an attempt to insult. That also will be punished with imprisonment of 3 years or 4 years, or with fine or with both. So these are the cases in which Section 295A was examined. Here, in 1957, the Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of the section in the case Ramji Lal Modi versus State of UP. The court held that Section 295A IPC does not penalize any and every act of insult to or attempts to insult any religion or the religious beliefs of a class of citizens. The court cautioned that only those acts of insults or attempts or to so insult can be penalized under this provision which are perpetrated with the deliberate and malicious intention of outraging the religious feelings of that class. So, just insulting a religion like a simple insult is not going to attract this section. Only if it's done with to outrage the religious feelings. Outrage means more than just feeling bad, but great affront is felt by that class of people. It must really hurt them, should affect, like it should be an insult at the basis of the religion, like their gods or their prophet. Then Section 295A can be applied. In the case of Secretary of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India versus Cricket Association of Bengal, the court widened the scope of the fundamental right of free speech to include the right to educate, inform, and entertain, and the right to be educated, informed, and entertained. So this is a right to telecast and let that of the viewers. Um, so in Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, the court observed that expressions which are vague in the sense that there is no manageable standard by which a person will be said to have committed an offense present difficulties as even judicially trained minds may come to diametrically opposite conclusions on the same set of facts. So what do these cases show? First, the insult must actually outrage the religious feelings. It cannot be a small insult, and people have the right to uh, make their views heard for the sake of education or formation or entertainment, and people have the right to hear these or read or watch these views. Either and in the Shreya Singhal case, the court said that if the expression made is vague, then this section cannot be applied because the court cannot come to a conclusion of the meaning of that phrase. Here's Article 19 in Constitution of India, which talks about freedom. Uh, it says 19.1 says all citizens shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression. 19 clause 2 says nothing in subclause A of clause 1 shall affect the operation of any existing law or prevent the state from making any law in so far as such law imposes reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred by the said subclause in the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or in relation to contempt of court, defamation, or incitement to an offense. So, while Indian citizens have the right to speak and express themselves, it is not an absolute right, and the government can make laws restricting people's speech if such speech endangers the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, and other forms mentioned here. Now, Section 295A, in my opinion, uh, it does not seem to apply to sovereignty integrity of India, the security of the state, friend relations with foreign states, because it doesn't talk about any country or any nation state. It only talks about a religion. So these three don't apply. Public order, I don't think it applies because it is merely insulting the feelings of people. It is not calling for harm against any religious group, which is, I think, would endanger public order because that might incite people to attack that religious group. Decency or morality, it might come under this. It could be said that insulting somebody's religion is indecent and immoral. However, it always doesn't come in contempt of court. It's not defamatory. I don't think that defamation can be applied to any religious group. Maybe it can, but I'm not sure, and I doubt it. And incitement to an offense is, I don't. I don't think any incitement is for an offense is made by insulting someone's religion. So yeah, I think Section 295A is very narrowly within the restrictions posed in 1902, but I think it could be considered as going beyond these restrictions because nothing here says that uh, the government can make a law that restricts people from insulting a religion. That basic word name called the word of religion is not mentioned in this clause at all. Now let me see what Nupur Sharma has done. She has been summoned by the Mumbai police in Maharashtra for her purportedly offensive comments against Prophet Muhammad during a TV debate. The cases have been registered against a suspended BJP spokesperson. She has now been called on to record her statement. Um, so, yeah, I am not sure if she will be convicted. I was watching Shekhar Gupta's Cut the Clutter episode about Section 295A, and there he said that as far as he knows, there has been no conviction under Section 295A. And as far as I know, as a law student, there has been no such conviction. But I don't know if Nupur Sharma will be convicted and punished under this section. I will wait to see how the case unfolds. But as far as my opinion about religion and freedom of speech in India, I think Section 95A should be removed by the government. It should amend the Indian Penal Code and repeal that section so that people should not be arrested for insulting a religion. That should be a right. People should have a right to not like a religion and they have a right to express that right. Also, this applies to the issue of conversion in India, where uh, many people are offended when others try to convert them from a religion to another. Now, for that, I think that as long as the person converting is simply doing it through words and they're not using any violence or inducement, such as giving money to the person or any charity or favors, then I think that such a conversion is legal, and which is why I support the anti-conversion laws in several states in India, which say that any conversion that is done by force or inducement or fraud or by blackmail will should be illegal, and only a conversion that is done for religious reasons should be validated and recognized by the government, because that is what conversion is for. It is for religious reasons. Someone thinks that another religion is better for them, they should be able to convert, but they shouldn't convert for because the other person giving them the conversion opportunity is giving them money. Then they're not converting because of the religion, but only for money, and some they're being exploited, and I don't think that's fair, and I think the state should protect people from such exploitation. So I think that this will uh, prevent conversions happening that are aggressive and fraudulent, but will allow people to be convert willingly and freely. So I think a balance can be made. So yeah, that's basically how I think why freedom of speech can be applied in that case, because ultimately to say that in order to convert someone from a religion, you have to criticize their religion, and people have a right to do that. Even now, with this section in place, the courts have said that legitimate criticism of religions should not be penalized and are allowed, which is what a conversion is. So yeah, that's basically how I view it. We should have the freedom to insult religions, even though I personally think it's immoral to do so, and I wouldn't insult anybody's religion personally, but I know some people would want to do that, and they should have the right and freedom to do so. So, for their sake, I think that this section should be removed, and it would prevent these incidents of people being arrested, and no one would have the right to say someone should be killed for speaking, because in this country that there wouldn't even be a possibility of arresting that person. And so the government can properly uh, strike down against such people who make such threats and who riot and vandalize for when their religious sentiments are hurt. So that's my position on this. I do not mean to offend anybody's religious sentiments, and if anyone disagrees, you can comment down below and tell me why you disagree. Yeah, that's what I want to say. I just want to end this video by wishing good luck to my country, India. Well, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see other videos about Indian nationalism in general, click on this playlist. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see the sources I use for this video, click the links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Vande Mataram.